Hi guys, just racing on way. No, what if this supposed to be what if deku has the power of Archie Sonic and video game Sonic, part 6. Now before we begin, you guys know that I have two what if based around Sonic. So I want to make them a little bit different, a little bit more different. So for this one, Deku and the other characters will not be using the time stone, but Asta and his what if, he will give it to Yuno. When it comes to this series, I'm going to try to make it as long as I can since of how powerful the characters are from the Archie comics. And plus, video game Sonic can already beat the My Hero characters. Adding Archie Sonic is crazy. After that being said, let's continue with the story. Where we last left off, Deku lost the hero versus villain test very fast and wondering what happened. At the end of the day, Deku, Miles, and Knuckles begin to walk home. When they begin to walk off the school ground, Deku hears a female voice call his name. After that, he begins to speed walk the way off of the school grounds. As Deku speed walking off the school grounds, Todoroki looking at all four of them, wondering. Todoroki begins to stare at them and wondering, do they all have the same energy that he felt during the hero versus villain test? But before Todoroki can ponder or do something about it, Momo puts her hand on his shoulder, telling him, we should probably go home. Besides, they're our classmates, so you can figure whatever you want out later. After she says that, Todoroki begins to look out the window for a few seconds. After that, looking back at Momo and telling her, yeah, my questions can wait. After all, they are my classmates. After that little conversation, they begin to walk downstairs. We cut to Shadow, wonder where is he going to stay since he can't just go back to Island. Besides, even if he could, he wouldn't want to. So you can prove his point much faster. So instead of trying to go from here to Island, he needs to speed up his progress. So if he has to stay here, he will. If he has to sleep on top of a building, he will. But before he can continue on his rant, his stomach begins to growl, seeing that he's hungry. He says, but first I gotta get something to eat. But before he does anything, All Might in his skinny form puts his hand on Shadow's shoulder and tells him, if you want to, I can buy you something to eat. Shadow, annoyed and knowing who this person is, tells him, back off, Skinny Mite, and go do your job. All Might confused, telling him, what do you mean do your job? I am doing my job, I'm a teacher. Shadow looks at him and tells him, good, now go teach yourself what it means to leave me alone. After Shadow says that, he begins to walk off. All Might is confused, so he quickly decides and tells Shadow, saying, I'll pay. Shadow looks behind him and says, what do you mean? All Might says, you're hungry, aren't you? Don't worry, I'll pay for your meal. Shadow begins to check all of his pockets and sees that his wallet not on him. He thinks that Melissa might have it. Shadow, when this conversation ends, so he can just teleport and just get something to eat, or better yet, just teleport his way home. But he shouldn't do that because he thinks of might make multiple excuses after why he shouldn't be a hero. When the excuses might make his Shadow is him becoming a villain, just because we don't know where he is. Shadow in his head thinking, maybe I just want to be alone. It's do my own thing. But Shadow realizing this, Shadow sighs in annoyance and looks at All Might and tells him, fine, let's go get a bite. But just to let you know, Shadow walks up and tells him, you better not go cheap on me, you walking skeleton. All Might sighs and wonders how much is he going to ask for. While Shadow and All Might walking up to a restaurant, Shadow has this sad thought wondering if it's possible he can do this, and wondering if they're really going to kill him if he fails. Shadow shakes it off and tells him, no, I'm not going to die. I'm going to go 100%. I'm going to go what they call plus ultra with quotation marks. They walk closer and closer until they get to a diner. Shadow and All Might sits down. All Might basically picks up a menu and says, I think you should get... Shadow takes the menu away from him and tells him, I pick whatever I want. When Shadow looks at the menu, he realizes he doesn't know what he wants to eat. The only reason why he said that so All Might can just back off and leave him alone. But since he's here, he doesn't know what to do now. Shadow continues to look for something to eat. When the waiter comes over, she asks, what do you want? Shadow looks at her and tells her 3 chili dogs and 2 black coffees. All Might looks at Shadow and tells him that's a weird combination of food. All Might tells the waiter, I'll take a burger, a salad, and give me a glass of water. Shadow, slightly annoyed, tells him, it's my order. so mind your own business. All Might would try to tell Shadow to be nice, but looking into Shadow's eyes, a slight hint of sadness, even though his body said that he's annoyed and angered. All Might tries to make conversation with Shadow, asking how the second day at UA. Shadow telling All Might the school is okay. All Might asks him, well, what about your classmates? All Might will continue to talk, saying like, so, of all the classmates, who would you be friends with? And if so, who would you date in that classroom? Shadow will look at him and discuss things like, I don't see a reason of dating. As for a friend, I wouldn't say friends, must say like my acquaintance. And I'll be that kid with the shadow quirk. That's it. All Might would tell him, good, that's a start. Now, is there anyone in the classroom that you don't like? That red-headed idiot, that blue-haired buffoon, that yellow-haired, and don't forget psychic, that yellow-haired freak. All Might responds, like, what did Kirishima and Ida do to you? Shadow looks at him and tells him, I'm not talking about them, you idiot. All Might asks him, then who are you talking about then? Shadow looks at him and tells him, I'm talking about that blue-haired idiot that I fought today. All Might tells him his name is Izuku, so why do you hate him then? Shadow tells him, he irritates me. He's too cocky for his own good. All Might tells him, yeah, he is too cocky, or maybe he's just putting on a good poker face. Shadow looks at him and tells him, have you even played poker before? All Might tells him a few times. Shadow tells him, out of all people in the classroom, there are 3 people in there I want to fight. All Might looks at him and asks, okay, who are they then? Shadow tells him, it's that blue-haired boy named Izuku, that redhead boy that always talks to him, and that silver-haired boy with the long hair. All Might raises an eyebrow and asks, you want to fight Todoroki? But why? Shadow tells him he has a pretty good gift, but I bet he can barely throw a punch. And for that Izuku kid, I just need to knock him down a peg or 2. After that redhead kid, I want to see how good he is at fighting. All Might asks him, what about his sister? Do you want to fight her? Shadow tells him, yes, but those 2, possibly 3, need to be knocked down for the lack of skill they have. All Might tells him, but you don't know about Izuku. You haven't seen his skills. The only thing he did was teleport and tie his legs over. Yes, you are skillful, but you're realizing that he has skills too. You just haven't seen them yet. Shadow scoffs, telling him his cockiness is hiding the lack of skill that he has. All Might tells him, you're pretty cocky yourself. Shadow looks at him and tells him, I was never cocky. Even if I was, I have the skills to back it up, while Shadow slams his hand on the table. All Might tells him that it is true, but you're not giving him a chance to show that he has skills. Before Shadow can respond, All Might tells him, to prove that you're better than anyone, you and that person have equal playing fields, then let your skills do the talking. If you can't do that, then that means that you're afraid of losing. Shadow begins to get more and more angry and tells them, alright, when can I fight that redhead idiot? All Might tells them, what do you mean? I thought you were going to fight Izuku. Shadow tells him, no, I'm going to go up the ladder first. First, I take down his friend, then he's next. All Might tells him, that sounds like a low blow if you ask me. Shadow tells him, no, I'm going to do what you said. Like on equal playing fields. Then I'm going to let my skills and my powers do the talking for me. After Shadow's done talking, he finishes his food and leaves. When she steps outside, Melissa asks, where have you been? He tells Melissa that he was talking to All Might at a cafe. Shadow asks Melissa, so where are we going to stay? Melissa says, we can just rent out an apartment if you want to. All Might comes outside and says, we can just build some dorms for you so you can just stay there. Shadow tries to say no thanks, but Melissa tells them, we would love to. All Might tells them, but we haven't decided to build them yet, so we're going to have to wait a while. Shadow says, alright, let's go rent an apartment. Melissa asks Shadow, so why did All Might ask you to come to a cafe? Shadow tells them to talk about my classmates, but I don't really care about them. Melissa tells Shadow, of course you need to have friends. You need allies and become a hero. Shadow tells him, you don't need friends to have allies as a hero. All I need you to just become a hero as fast as possible. Shadow continues to walk and talks to Melissa, telling her, do you think all the pro heroes are friends with each other? No, they just work with each other whenever they need to. Melissa tells him, you do have a point, but some of them that are heroes, they are friends with each other. Shadow tells her, still, don't need friends. And plus, all my little lacking needs to get off my back. Sorry it took so long. Thank you all for watching, and hope you enjoy.